honest, you were asking, what the heck's he doing over there? And that is today's lesson. Not really, but today's lesson is about your attention span. How long is it? Why is it getting shorter? What can you do to salvage your attention span? How can you grow it again? Is it a muscle? Can it be trained? That's what we're going to be talking about today on the Drive at 5, or in today's case, get your fix at 6, because I woke up late. But I'm not a morning person, in case y'all didn't know. Lesson learned for me and for everybody else. I am not a morning person. I'm letting the cat out of the bag. We don't have anybody in here this morning. I imagine there are a lot of people on vacation. I'm glad you're enjoying that. But with that, let's transition to our topic of the day. So today we talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart and something I struggle with, and that is the ability to focus. We all know that in today's day and age, there are more distractions. We all blame it on, it's the phone, it's the technology, it's my email, it's the fact I've got 5 kids, I got 2 kids, I got 6 kids, I got 1 kid, I got no kids, I got a husband or a wife that are really distracting. Man, I really just want to put my AirPod in. I want to listen to something while I do the dishes. And we think that all those changes, all those differences, the technology, the digital world that we live in, and the connected world that we live in is causing us to be distracted. But in fact, technology is just a tool. Your phone is just a tool. It's the misuse of those tools that leads us to a position where our attention span feels like it's failing us, and we ultimately feel like we're fighting an uphill battle. I think there's always been people who are more easily distracted than others, naturally, right? We all have natural giftings and talents and things that we're capable of doing. However, it is easier, it's more readily available for us to be distracted in this day and age. Give you an example, there's this thing called the face-down phone theory. So what is that, right? You come in, you're hanging out with friends, you put your phone face down on the table. What you've just signaled to your friends is you're important because it's face down, but you're not so important that I won't put it in my pocket or put it on do not disturb mode because I'm not fully here. So think about that. That's something that we didn't have to worry about so much in the past, right? The house phone would ring if something really important came up, and people would get in touch with you. People would find a way to find you or get in touch with you. Now, you think that you have to be connected to whomever is not in the room at all times. Now, I'm not saying that, hey, your family's not important. I'm not saying that your kids and your wife and your other things outside of the room aren't important, or your job even. They are important. And in some cases, you're on call. In some cases, you got a babysitter and you need to be connected. I get all that. But there are ways to use the tools that you have in hand to set those standards and those boundaries so that you can put it on do not disturb mode, but your babysitter can still get through, or whoever it may be. And I would encourage you to leverage those tools and to be present in the room. So here's the truth. You can build back your focus. And the way you do it is one space and one choice at a time. With this face-down phone theory, it is shown that if you have your phone face down on the table, that the conversation, the other people in the conversation will feel less engaged. They've done some studies on it. Obviously, it's a reported study, so the people on the other end of the conversation are going to have to report it out. You may not feel less distracted or less engaged, but you are. And they see it, they know it, and just by your phone being out on the table, they know it. So here's my suggestion to you. If you are one of those people that loves to have your phone with you, if you're having an interesting conversation with one of your girlfriends, but you're coming home from work, and you're coming home to your family, turn your phone off or put it on do not disturb mode, set it down somewhere, and have a full-on conversation with your family without the phone even connected to you. I'm not saying you got to put it in phone jail. You're adults. Do what you need to do. Maybe you're not all adults, but you're grown people in terms of you got responsibility and you have agency. You can do this, but put your phone somewhere and have a conversation. Put it down. I notice this about myself. Whenever I go to a friend's house and I'm fully, like present and engaged, I have a much better conversation and a lot more fun. And my friends feel how much I care about them, no matter how true that is. If I have my phone out and I'm texting or I'm looking and Googling and chat GPTing and watching YouTube videos or whatever, unless we're both engaged in that activity, I'm somewhere else. I'm out in space. So the way you do this is you've got to make choices. So let me show you how with a story. I'm setting the story up. Guy's name's Marcus. He's a brilliant strategist, but he's terrible at follow through. He starts projects. He's on fire. He's got the hyperfixation of a neurospicy individual, and then scatters himself just halfway through. He's gone. He's toast. Okay, Marcus could be me. It is not me in this case. It's a fictional Marcus. So when they dug into this in this fictional situation, it wasn't laziness that was causing the problem. It was a physical, digital, and mental clutter that Marcus was facing. So how can you, use this? Here's how they helped Marcus. First, clear the physical space. If you're working in chaos, if you're like me, I like piles. They say this is typical of ADHD people. I've never been diagnosed, so maybe I haven't, don't know, but you pile things, right? It's like, hey, this is my pile. In my pile, I have the important things that I use, and at the bottom of the pile, I know what's at the bottom. I know what's in the middle. I know what's at the top, but I just cycle through the pile. It could be clothes. It could be paperwork. It could be whatever. Marcus was like that, right? He's working in chaos. His desk is covered in papers. His phone's always buzzing. And so when they stripped it back and went to, one monitor, I suggest two, but one monitor, two because I work with data, one notebook, one mug of coffee, not 5 cups like I have sitting on my desk, and every item having a purpose. With everything else being gone, you clear that space, clear the clutter. And when that clutter is cleared away, there's less tendency for distraction because your mind is now as organized as your desk is. So that stops the brain from going, oh, I see a document that I hadn't taken care of. Oh, I see, something I need to do. There are times for that, and I can teach you some techniques on how to strategize your day if you have things that you need to do. But for the general day, when you have I have an objective for today, I have the 3 top things I need to do today. Having a clean desk and a clear space will help your brain stay on task. Step 2 is to clear the digital space. So in this case, Marcus had 14 screens open. He had 14 tabs on his Google Chrome. He had his Slack or his Teams right there. And instead of doing that, he zoomed in and said, okay, I don't need Teams always open. I don't need 14 tabs open over here on my left-hand screen. I need to get in focus mode. And in fact, just like you can turn on focus mode on your phone, you can do the same thing on your computer. You can limit the notifications that get through in that bottom right-hand corner. If you're like me and you use Outlook or a front or an email tool like Google, Gmail, whatever, you can actually limit those notifications that pop up in the right-hand side of your screen by going in and setting up your own focus mode. So do that. And when you turn those notifications off or down to just the most important things, you can start to manage your time as opposed to your time managing you. You want to manage tasks. You want to manage objectives or towards objectives. You don't want those things to manage your time for you. Now, every morning, Marcus here, he was setting up a 5-minute inbox triage. What is that? Okay, that's going in. What are the things I have to do today? What are the things that absolutely need a response? Okay, now let those people know that I'll be working on those things that I will get to today. All right, my email is now not dictating my day. I've done all the things I need to do in that 5 minutes to set up my day. If there are emails that are pressing, now I'm straight into the work. So that is how you clear your digital space, and you'll ultimately double your work or double the work you're able to get done, or the most important work you're able to get done, and just like Marcus, and you'll lower the anxiety levels you have because you're not letting the dings and the pings dictate what you do. Now, the last thing you need to do, and this is one a lot of people miss, and this is what Marcus needed to do, is clear the mental space. Your desk is clear, your screens are clear, your brain's still noisy. And for a lot of people who have anxiety, who have ADHD, who have even some autistic tendencies, one of the things they need to do is get the data and the information out of their brain. And one of the best lessons you can learn for this, and this is what Marcus did, don't think it, write it. So he started to journal, a page every morning, capturing tasks in one list, and then capturing things he can't control in another list, like we did before, right? The columns of what can I control, what can I not control. You get a task list in a single area. You get some of the stuff, the data dump of things that you're worried about you cannot control. You get that off of your list and you put it into a book and onto a piece of paper, ripping that up, putting that away. You've written it down. You've acknowledged that it matters to you, that you care about it, but that you cannot control it, and therefore it's off of your list of stuff to do. So what did that leave Marcus with time to do? Is then he meditates for a little bit of period of time. I prefer that to be prayer time, but anytime you can recenter your mind, get focused on a distraction-free environment and going, okay, what are the top things I need to do today? You're going to ultimately allow yourself to build a longer attention span. And you'll find this, okay? Because, Marcus was leading, strategies for a national nonprofit, and, people will say he makes focus look easy, but it wasn't easy. It was intentional. So if you think about it, for you, tidy your desk, put your phone in another room if you need to, close all the extra tabs, pick one task to work, dump your thoughts into a notebook, and then they call it the Pomodoro method. Okay. This is one of the techniques that you'll see out there on the interwebs, as they say. 25 minutes of doing a task or working, and then 5 minutes off. And then you repeat. And you need to take obviously a rest period in there in the middle. But here's what I want to challenge you, okay? Even in your personal life, put the professional away. I know that your day is still dictated by somebody who manages you or leads you, might be dictated by customers if you're the owner of the business, or might be dictated by your team members and their needs. I get that, okay? But even in your personal life, answer me this. Close your eyes, picture with me. I'm not going to take you to any kind of shop vacs or toilets, but picture with me. You're sitting at your house and you're going to watch a movie, right? Whatever it is, favorite show, favorite movie, something just came out, you want to watch it. Minecraft movie was one that I just did. So you're sitting there, you're on your couch, and the movie's on. All right. What do you do? Are you one of those people that picks up your phone, swipes through TikTok, checks the group chat, or are you watching the movie? So the simplest assignment I can give you, pick a TV show or a movie, put your phone away, and watch it. Enjoy the movie. It can be new. It can be an old one. Put your phone away in another room. Turn on notifications. Say you got a sick parent, whatever it is. Turn that on so that they can get through. If something emergent happens, that's fine. But put it away. Do not scroll on TikTok. Do not try to double do things. Do not be paying bills while you're trying to watch the movie. Just watch the movie. And I promise you that over time, if you do that, if you just watch a movie, TV show, good book, whatever it is, if you can get into something and do it, even something you start with something you enjoy, if you can do that for a few minutes at a time, undistracted, uninterrupted, you're going to rebuild that attention span that's been burned up by the Instagram reels and the TikTok and the busyness of the day. Be mindful. Be intentional. Yes, clear your space, your house, your desk, your digital space. But take a chance at building your attention span again and at doing one thing at a time again. The phone is a tool if you're using the tool, be focused on the tool. If you're using it for email, if you're using it for Chat GPT, if you're using it for research, whatever it is, use it for that. Don't do 2 and 10 and 12 things at once. The picture-in-picture, when you swipe up and you're listening to a YouTube video while you do your Spanish lesson, Jeffrey, that's not healthy. It's not helping you, and you're not focused on either of those things fully. All right, with that, let's transition. We are going to go to Ecclesiastes 4 and 6. And here, let's go to the Logos app, which is one I like to use. You can go to your Bible app. Either one is fine. I like the ESV. There are plenty of versions out there. If you're looking for somebody to listen to as far as Scripture goes, learn about the Bible, apologetics, so on and so forth, I'll give you 2 resources. One, a friend of mine, Duran Smith, if you want to go out and look, he's got a website and I believe a YouTube page called Very Myth. Give him a look. But also, if you're looking for somebody who's blown up in the popular world right now and been on all the podcast circuits, that would be Wes Huff. Wes did the Flagrant 2 podcast, used some colorful language on that podcast. So if you, that whole podcast is full of colorful language. But the truth is he does a great job in defending the historical accuracy and giving you the history of how the Bible was written, how they decided which books would be in there, so on and so forth. He also gives a defense of, which is what apologetics is a defense of the religion of Christianity in this case. So with that, let's go to Ecclesiastes 4:6. It says, "Better is a handful of quietness than 2 handfuls of toil." Hands full of toil and a striving after wind. I thought that was kind of appropriate here in that sometimes the quiet, just a minimal amount of the quiet, allows us to get closer to God and closer to the things that are most important to us. Take advantage of that. Pay attention to those that you love. Pay attention to the time that you have. Because the clock ticks on all of us, surely does. And I'll say this. Another visual, maybe one you don't want to close your eyes for because it's kind of funny and most men probably recognize it. If you're getting dressed this morning and you look down and you see holy underwear, it may be time for a change. And in that case, it's just going out and buying some new underwear. But if you use those holy underwear to be a metaphor for what you need to pay more attention to. You're not paying attention to your laundry. You haven't folded clothes. You haven't hung them up. You haven't done your laundry. Maybe you're on the last pair of those underwear that you just need to throw away at this point. But sometimes in life, there is a signal for us that a change is necessary. For me, it's my screen time. It's my, lack of attention. Sometimes I think about the things I'm missing out on when I'm focused on other things. So try to do just one thing at a time. Test it out. See what happens. Last week it was going into Target without my headphones in. Ran into a guy I was friends with. Got to shake his hand, see how he was doing. Said what's up to another guy that I used to work at Target, so I was friends with there. My point here is simply that you need to take the time to live a more intentional life. I know I do. Maybe I'm preaching just to myself, but my recommendation is take advantage of the time you have and try to live a more intentional life. I love you all. I want you to keep striving and looking for a way to be better each and every day. What you do every day matters more than what you do every once in a while. You know how to do the hard things, make the hard choices. With that, we don't say goodbye here. We say see you real soon because
at the end of the day, the day got to end.